Bologna, capital of the Emilia Romagna region of northern Italy and birthplace of the famous spaghetti bolognese. The region has one of the strongest economies in Italy and is home to Ferrari and Maserati cars, balsamic vinegar, prosciutto ham and Parmigiano cheese. 7 years ago, between the 20th and 29th of May 2012, it was hit by a series of earthquakes with magnitudes of between 4 and 6.1 on the Richter scale. In total, 27 people were killed and over 40,000 were made homeless. The provinces of nearby Modena and Reggio Emilia were some of the worst affected. Towns such as Novi di Modena, Reggiolo and Guastalla lost many homes, churches and schools. Even now, the centre of Novi di Modena is virtually uninhabited, with many buildings showing visible signs of damage, as they continue to be supported by wooden scaffolding. Even the pavement still has huge cracks. I spoke to local resident Valentina Agnello about her experience of the earthquake.
There were 3 tremors, and I remember the one at 1 p.m., one of the last ones and one of the strongest. I couldn't actually leave the house because the door frame was moving so much. Once I'd made it outside, the ground seemed to be moving up and down, and even the fruit fell off the trees because they were shaking. We slept in the car for the following days because we were scared that we'd be trapped in the house if it fell down. This, for example, was a bank which can be no longer used. As you can see, part of the roof is still missing.
Novi is like a ghost town, and reconstruction works are still very much ongoing. Official restoration signs are up everywhere. It's affected everything, from stately homes to the local church. Behind me you can see the church, which is still barred off from use by the general public. Another church in Guastalla suffered similar damage.
During the earthquake, most of the church was destroyed. It was shut for 7 years whilst it was being repaired, and was supported by wooden and iron structures. They've actually just finished repairing it.
Luca, who is from a village nearby, showed me the reconstructed church with its new metal anchor plates to help withstand any further shaking. But it's not just homeowners who are still feeling the effects of the quakes. About 40 kilometres away, just outside Modena, I visited a Parmigiano cheese factory, where I spoke to its director, Andrea Nasciambini.
In May 2012 there was an earthquake. We suffered €7.5 million worth of damage, both structural and where the product fell off the shelves, and was damaged. We have repaired some of the buildings like this factory, which we rebuilt quickly. But we are still in the process of reconstructing one of the other factories, which is located right near where the epicenter of the earthquake was. This is because funds have taken such a long time to reach us, and so we're actually still rebuilding it. Now most of the buildings are anti-seismic, as is this one. The shelves are all anti-seismic. Everything we're currently building is anti-seismic. Yes, the shelves can move, but only a little bit, only a few centimetres. There's not even the problem that the cheese might fall off the shelf. With a large movement it might, but with only a few centimetres it won't. It's been studied. Because it only moves a few centimetres, even if it continues for a prolonged amount of time, the cheese won't slip off.
Is the lack of funding the problem? Well, the government is doing its best to encourage residents to move back to Novi di Modena, with its newly constructed anti-seismic houses. The scheme was featured in local newspaper La Gazzetta di Modena. In the centre of Modena, Monica De Deo owns a stationery and printing shop and tells me more about the local government's latest scheme.
They're paying them, they're paying people. It said in the newspaper that they're going to give money to those who will move to Novi. Go and move there and become a resident. But as you can understand, no one wants to go. Think about this. You step out of the house and you have reference points. You've got the pharmacy, the shop, the school. In Novi, there wasn't anything left. When you go out of the house, you don't have any more reference points. It would be as if you'd landed on the moon.
Back in London, I met with Professor David Alexander, a professor of risk and disaster reduction at University College London, about why these earthquakes happen.
Italy is a highly seismic country. It has a plate boundary running through it. It is swivelling anti-clockwise, opening up the Tyrrhenian Sea and closing the Adriatic. It consists largely, at least on the peninsula, of young geological terrains. It has a population, 70% of which, population of about 58 million, 70% of which is in a seismically categorised area.
These areas can be plotted and shown on colour-coded maps. The different colours represent the probability of an earthquake occurring.
Much of the damage that it did was the result of the area that it most affected not being classified as highly seismic.
Simone Mancini works at the British Geological Survey and specialises in forecasting earthquake sequences. He tells me more about seismic zone classification.
Italy is divided into different zones, and each zone is divided into sub-areas depending on the level of detail. Say we have 4 main zones. We go from zone 4, where these expected ground motions are the lowest, until zone 1, which has the highest values, and zone 1 includes Central Apennines, Calabria, Sicily region, and Friuli. Emilia Romagna region falls within more than one zone. We can broadly say that the northern part falls within zone 3, while the southern part, as you go closer to the Apennines, falls within the lower end of zone 3 and zone 2. So it's an area of moderate hazard.
Moderately hazardous it may be, but memories are still fresh and people are still frightened, and they don't want to move back to reconstructed towns such as Novi. Although the regional economy has grown since the disaster, around half of the houses damaged are still waiting to be finished. It's disrupted lives, and 7 years later, this is still ongoing. Reporting from Italy, Eleanor Sly.